be a ground war. It'll be in outer space. The president all of a sudden, out of the blue, maybe he was trying to blow off other problems, but, saying that we need to create a space force, and then all of a sudden, now the Air Force is going to have it, but which it should have been all the way. But I mean, it's just like, I'm just wondering, if something is going on. And then I remember back when I talked to Ronald Reagan years and years ago when I was a teenager.
Yeah, I was just about to say, what about Ronald Reagan in the 80s?
Yeah, I remember with the conversation I had with him. And and we were talking about Star Wars, and he, and I mentioned, would that protect us against the Soviet Union? He goes, no, it'll protect us against them. And the way, and at that age, it didn't really even sink in. It does now, because I got the impression he was talking about something out there.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
And he said he said it verbatim right there in the UN Council.
Oh, yeah.
That it would take an outside force, aliens, to bring the world together. I mean, you want disclosure. That was disclosure. I mean, going back to the 50s, and I've said it on your show many times, the UFO flap over the White House, which had radar return, and was a week straight. That was disclosure.
52.
Oh, hey, how about Armstrong on the moon, okay? And the other two astronauts, talking about...
Buzz Lundgren?
Yeah, saying, look, what they said, and that, NASA kept telling him, go to the medical channel, and he's going, well, these crafts are far superior than ours and huge. I mean...
coming at us and all kinds of stuff.
And then I sit back and I wonder, why haven't we gone to the moon since then?
We aren't allowed to.
Probably not. Now, what scares me, now maybe I'm getting off and going crazy here, but right now, the way the political things are going on, maybe something might happen here before election period where all of a sudden something comes out and basically we trying to convince the people that we need to save our ass.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Have you ever thought about that, Eric?
Oh, I'm really ready for it.
I'm waiting for it every day on the news,
That's why I live in the mountains, Gary.
Oh, you're smart. But yeah, I don't know if it would be real or if it's, done other. I don't know. But
they've talked about a false flag alien invasion for a long time. And then you have to ask yourself, is it really a false flag invasion or is it real?
Well, it's a possibility.
Watch the skies and you'll know.
Wow. Well, if anything happens, and if any aliens are listening to my show on the 13 radio stations I'm on, which I'm going to be on, well, I was on just to 1 minute ago, but we're still live on the internet. Anyway, if there is any aliens listening to my show, please go to Washington, D.C., and have any congressman, senator, or vice president or president you want. And if it's true what I've been reading, you only eat brains. Go ahead and eat all the brains you want, because I guarantee you in a week's time, we'll be rid of you because you all will starve to death.
Exactly.
So what do you mean? It's like eating that food that you get hungry once you eat it again because it don't fill you up.
By the way, what I just said right now, back 20 some years ago, I got a nice fine from the FCC for what I just said.
Times have changed.
No, they're after CNN, MSNBC, and all the other quote fake news. Yeah, they don't care about us.
No. Of course, I didn't think they would even care about me when I said that on the radio. And all of a sudden, like a week and a half later, the station manager came and said, hey, the station just got a fine. And guess what? You got one, too. And I go, for what? For that little story about aliens eating the president's brain and all this other stuff you said. Hey.
Wow.
But that was nothing more than a joke.
Right.
We know it'll only take 2 days and they'll starve to death.
And if they're that concerned about it, I guess there really are aliens.
Yeah, they could be. But
they're here to serve man, Gary.
I don't know. See, I don't want to get political, but I'm just saying there's so many different things going on in the paranormal that actually you could drive a person crazy if you really concentrated on any one particular one.
Nah.
You could be on it 24/7.
I do feel that the people out there that got their heads in the ground saying that the earth is flat or we're living in a matrix or that there's no such thing as UFOs, that we're the only life that has ever involved in a humanoid. I'm going to ask them right now, what have you been smoking?
Yep.
First of all, Drake's equation says there's about 10,000 planetary bodies in our galaxy alone that should have intelligent life. So times that by another 100 million.
Wow. I got to watch what I say on the show, because one of the radio stations, I was joking around about Rush, and then the station got back at me and they said, you need to do a show like Rush in the paranormal. Could you imagine me rambling on for 2 hours every night and not have any guests and just go on about a subject?
And just tear up. It'd be a venting show. It'd be great. Paranormal venting.
You know what? In all my rants I've done, I've only had one complaint. One complaint.
That gets the biggest listeners when you rant.
Oh, it does, actually. How about the night on your show? Did you notice any difference with any?
When you were talking about infrastructure?
Oh yeah,
EMPs.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? A roundtable show, and I still tell you, when we got into that big political debate, I think I'm up to 14 downloads, and that's the most I've ever had in like a week, 2 weeks time on that show alone.
Now, did I start the political thing, or was it Dave that started it, or was it somebody else? Because I was trying to keep it non-political.
I'll be completely honest with you. I was in a really bad mood to begin with.
Oh boy.
And I was bordering on going political anyway. And Izzy warned me. She's like, no, you're going to ruin your show. Don't do it. Walk that line you always walk, but don't do it. I didn't have to. So,
I'm sorry. But I do feel that we need to put the money into the grid system more than we need to build the wall. And that's all I was trying to make a point. And a couple of people on your round table couldn't understand that. If you're worried about crime coming over the border, you're going to have a hell of a lot more crime than you could ever imagine if our grid system went down.
Well,
yeah.
and I'd like to know where they got their numbers.
That movie World War Z, all them zombies, and you're going to have people come over the wall. If our grid system goes down and we have no electricity enough for 2-3 years, well, look out.
Nope.
Oh, come on. Just think of what happened to society within the first 30 days. All these nuclear power plants are going to all be melting down. There will be no food. People will be dying. People in the hospital, the first week with no power and no way to get, fuel into to run the generators. How many people are going to die off?
Yep.
Well, and not even the hospitals. Think of all the nursing homes and the, I'm trying to think. They're not retirement centers, but they're assisted living centers. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
All the assisted living centers and the nursing homes, convalescent centers, they're already on death's door. They're going to be the first to go. And then you got the hospitals and the ICU units and all that.
Yeah, it'd be scary.
People will starve, diseases, famine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah, and mass graves. And that's not just that. I think society would break down so fast. And that's why I very strongly on my show always talk about why are we going to want to spend this money for building a wall when we can fix the grid for almost half? I mean, which makes more logical sense. I don't understand people. I just don't understand people.
Well, that's what kills me too. He won $6.8 billion, but they've got that. And then he talks about the trade the trade deals they've had, and how many billions they've brought in on trade deals. They don't need 6.8 billion from the Democrats.
No. Of course, have you seen how much our country is in debt now today? It was in the news.
I don't watch the news.
Well, it's fake, okay?
Yeah.
But it's way farther than it's ever been, drastically now. And I wonder why. And I got a funny feeling that the tariffs is causing it.
Something's causing it.
I just remember seeing a chart where it was always Republicans that put us in like billions of dollars of debt, and it was Clinton that brought us into a deficit.
Yeah.
And then Bush took the deficit and took it back into the billions again of debt. I mean, it's always been Republicans and their wars.
Well, I don't know.
You know, I just, it's a mess.
Well, maybe we need a UFO invasion right now to clear up the economy, create jobs, and then not have to worry about Russia or China nuking us or us nuking them and creating a world war. We'll be trying to protect ourselves from aliens.
I'm not worried
about it.
What
if the aliens made a solar flare and shut our grid down? Then we'd be in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know. I got enough ammo to last for a day.
Yep. So do I.
And after that, I'm going to get after I get done with that, I'm going to take out my pellet pistol and my pellet rifle, and I got at least another day's worth of pellets.
You got a slingshot? Some pebbles.
A slingshot. We have a blowgun. We have a slingshot. We have crossbows. We have swords. Not counting the 4 firearms.
Yeah.
And plenty of ammo.
Yeah.
And that's what kills me. Oh, we got to stockpile weapons. Why? You can only shoot one gun at a time. Why you got to stockpile weapons?
Well, you know, that's what I can't understand. I had an acquaintance back about 20 years ago that owned some property over at Eastern Washington. And on his property, he has like a bunker underground. Then all around his property, under maybe like a foot and a half of dirt, M16s and all these other weapons everywhere around his property. And he's trained his family how to use them all. And they got all these, all the sophisticated stuff. And why? I mean, the guy probably had about 50 guns. I mean, probably held a record in the area of guns.
Last name wasn't Bundy, was it?
No. I don't know. Well, anyway, anybody else have anything they want to say before I sign off?
I would like to say, hey, Saturday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, my guest will be Patrick Cross, paranormal investigator, well-known. Tune in.
Yeah, and who's your guest after that the following week?
Following week, my guest will be Dr. Bruce Maccabee.
Okay.
On the 16th.
Oh, cool.
Well, you better do a lot of studying up before you get Bruce on.
I do study up on a lot of UFO stuff, but believe me, I will sharpen my pencil.
Okay. Anyway, I'm going to let you go, James, and I'm going to talk to Eric for about another 2 minutes, and I'm going to let him go, and I'm going to go eat my salad because I put myself on a diet as of today.
All right. See you later, Gary, and have a good night, Eric.
You too.
Take care.
Bye.
So, anyway, what's coming up on your show this weekend?
So this weekend we're actually talking, I'll have our psychiatric therapist on the show and our extended care team. We're talking kids and the paranormal. And basically, we all know kids have overactive imaginations. So how can you tell if it's overactive imagination or if your child is having a paranormal issue? And that will be our show. Children and the paranormal.
That would make a lot of sense because, say a kid is suffering from paranormal, experiences. I could see the emotional stress it could put on a young person.
Well, and you got to understand, when a child is having an issue, it affects the entire family because the mother and father aren't going to sleep when their child is terrified. And the